Hello, this is Chiak. We are back again with another set of the experiments. I decided to first check that she could climb down these steps, and she can, so thank goodness. It's like waiting with a bated breath. I was holding my breath, like, please, please just work. Because I don't know what I could do. Is that... Okay. Well, either way, I really should check. No security bots around. Okay, she's coming up. So is that security bot? Maybe it won't matter. Okay, wow, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. Yep, just ignore her. Nothing going on here.
All right, it looks like it's okay. I don't think it was too severely damaged. Where's the maintenance board? There it is. There, all done. I suppose that the system is prompting you for a code to control the robot. You should have it.
Okay. Okay, well, security robot, so security would have that. Which one are you again? You're the one everyone hates. Oh wait, is this it? Security robot. Hey! Actually, can I just copy and paste? There we go. Yeah, okay, awesome.
Done? Now let's check if the remote controls work well. I guess a navigation window appeared? Move the robot forward, please. Good. Now it's up to you. The objective is to neutralize the other security robots. They are armed with electric cannons. After they fire, there's a slight delay while the cannon recharge. Calculate your hits accordingly. Good luck. I'm going to take cover.
Okay. Shoot, and the only... Yeah, this doesn't really... There's one over there. Where's a good vantage point for this?
Keep it up. You're doing well.
This is the slowest. Ever so slowly. Okay, just sorry, I just want to
What
see.
a combat.
What? What combat? Is he coming forward? No, he's not. So I need to get closer.
No mercy. None should escape.
Okay. It's Nicole's slightly bloodthirsty. Okay, I'm gonna assume that is the last one over there, so let me... There is none on this side, right? Okay, I'm gonna say no, just because I can't get a camera there anyway. So, let's... Right. Huh, okay. Is there... Intercept! Go! I'll meet him around. How about that? Okay. Should I just wait here in anticipation? Coming back around? Oh, wait. Don't you dare. Yeah. Is that it? That sounds of it, there's still one around. Where? Is there still one around? She didn't say anything, so I'm going to assume there is one around somewhere. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got them both. Which one is... What? This one is no longer functioning. See, it makes it sound like there's still one around somewhere. Got that one over there. Is that one right there? And it's just stuck in this corner the entire time? Okay, let's go, check it out. Okay, I don't know how far those stairs extend.
Nice hit. Thank you so much. In your hands, this robot is unbeatable. What a shame we have to leave it here. So nothing should obstruct my way through these doors now. I am speechless. What's waiting for me behind these doors, I just don't know. Yet, there's a secret hope guiding me. 112 is calling to me, I can feel it. He's here, somewhere in this mysterious world, and I won't stop until I'm with him. Now's the time. I'm going in.
Okay. I don't know which camera you're... Oh, okay, she just went straight in. Alright. I thought I was going to have to watch her walk to the door, but... No big moment, she just flips the switch.
Hello? Can you hear me? Are you getting an image? I'm so sorry I forgot to enable the server after going through the doors. The Tyriade's world is equipped with cameras and a computer network.
What?
Our engineers installed them after the discovery of the subterranean galleries to help lead the first receptors in their expeditions. This is the room where they were trained. Their equipment was similar to mine. A portable camera perched on the shoulder to follow their movements. A language pack allowing exchanges with Tyriades and other creatures from their universe. I'm not an expert with this device, even if I can work its basic functions. I think you should browse the user's manual to learn more about how it works. The only problem is, the manual is in Paul Gurnish's files, the Abyss Room attendant.
It's okay. We got it.
Indeed.
We got it.
I suggest you read up about Tyriades before we undertake this expedition. You'll be lost without at least some basic knowledge. Let's see where you might find the information you need. Probably in Jack Lowell's files, the exterior Tyriade zone officer, or Nancy Edwards' files, the officer in charge of rambling Tyriades, or maybe Paul Gurnish's files, who I mentioned before. While you do some research, I'll keep searching this room. It's full of material. There must be something here to complement my equipment. I'll also update our objectives. So see you later, and good luck with the research.
I'm curious if is she actually moving around? Okay. Friendly communication protocol, though she is moving around to update the our objectives. Since it's so important, we must always know what we're doing. First, one must identify oneself by indicating one's caste. They specify one's states or one's mood. Yes, thank you. Scroll this all the way down. Orientation then at Tyriade's universe. Understand how to use language pack. Okay. Oh my god. Yes, we did it. Thank you. Okay. Once moved, numerous experiments have permitted the creation of the list of states. They come in pairs. State A and the opposite state B. The inventory of known states is conciliating versus aggressive, curious versus disrespectful, exalted versus apathetic, calm versus nervous, submissive versus dominant. I don't know why I'm saying versus, but whatever. Our study reveals that optimal responses, those preventing conflict, are those tagged as opposites. If a Tyriade expressed a type A state, the best response is that of a type B state. The perfect response is always the opposite state. It remains the only way to secure trust with the interlocutor in order to destabilize it. Pheromone alpha, emotions, pleasure, effects, reassure the recipient. Want.
I'd say you have a better idea of the Tyriade's world now.
I just
On
read
my
this
end, I
one
found this
thing.
endoscopic camera, a piece of medical equipment designed to explore channels of the human body. I don't know if it's useful, but I'll bring it anyway. You never know. Do you want to take one last look in the room? This might be our last chance for a while.
I'm not
Help
done.
me search.
I'm not done. Let me do my thing. Enchantment. Search. Restraint. Wait. AA is ecstasy. BB desire.
Your cameras will tell you that my eyes can't see. This is why I need your help.
Okay. Can you let me do my research right now? I know you think I'm going to get this right off the bat, or I can speed read, but it's not happening. Okay, well here's the aggressive, submissive. So I'm assuming these are the combinations we're using? Disrespectful. Okay, the language lexicon. The uncontested victory of the Eden projects is the development of a language pack module. A pack permitting the synthesis on demand of a pheromone amidst the 7 known pheromones, providing the basic for Tyriade's language. Its use requires some practice, but eventually some quite natural. The first row of buttons at the top of the apparatus corresponds to the different pheromones emitted by the language pack: alpha, beta, gamma. When the cursor hovers over a pheromone, it displays its name, its chemical composition, its effect at a normal concentration, and its effect at a high concentration. The last line describes the opposite effects generated by adding the omega pheromone to a mix. Lastly, the bottom buttons regulate the emissions. Once the pheromones are combined and placed in the 2 bottom boxes, the middle button is pushed to launch the emission. Following the basic Tyriade's language concepts, which will later be shown to be very contextual in varying syntax. Okay. So these are the pheromones: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. And here, so omega is to elicit the opposite. Okay. Of AB. Well, just have a look at this again. When the cursors hover above pheromones, it displays its name, its chemical composition, its effect at a normal concentration, and its effect at a high concentration. The last line describes its opposite effect, generated by adding the omega pheromone. Once pheromones combine and placed in the 2 bottom boxes. Okay. The language pack is not a high-tech device. It contains neither a printed circuit nor a computer chip. This translator is more like a vocal prosthesis used by deaf mutes to hear words they cannot pronounce, and so humans are essentially handicapped among the Tyriades. These creatures' senses are much more developed than ours, with the exception of their sight that appears deficient. We are unable to communicate without the language pack, which the Tyriades have called the bridge. Poetically, in light of the bridge of it has become between our two species. From a technical standpoint, the pack's design is simple. It is merely an olfactory substance synthesizer which generates them from ethanol essences and amplifies them effectively. A neutral gas ensures their diffusion within a 3 or 4 meter radius. A new model is being studied which would allow greater propagation, up to 15 meters radius, to address not only an isolated individual, but to address a group, a crowd even. These I think I already read before. Okay, various pheromone responses. What follows are some Tyriades language concepts which will be shown to be very contextual and varies in syntax based on circumstances and the interlocutors. Reddening night crawler, scaled, stacked, giant clam conch rambling flower. Okay, this is obviously going to come into play later. Becomes immobilized for a few seconds and resumes its original state, moves forward the emission source, modifies its behavior, moves toward the emission source, becomes immobilized for a few seconds and resumes its original state. Reddening nightcrawler. Flees from emission source and resumes its original position. Okay, the giant clam pheromone omega. The united, often harmonious appearance of the Tyriades universe is deceiving. In reality, two forces work against each other. Two polarities exist. The language reflects this primary duality by introducing the omega pheromone, which, coupled with any other, create a contrary significance. The joy emotion, pure gamma pheromone, becomes melancholy when combined with an omega. Similarly, want becomes languor, while restraint becomes impatient. We have long believed that the omega pheromone was a natural product, glandular, of a subspecies of Tyriades, raised for their secretions much like sheep are raised for their wool. Further study revealed the error. In reality, it is a plant that secretes omegas locked into gaseous bubbles. A nice specimen of this vegetal being is named giant clam and is found in the highland forest. Okay. Sending Abyss user guide. The Sending Abyss is the first example of the successful collaboration between the Tyriades and humans, built together from a natural device. It is at once a wind catalyst that collects and amplifies subterranean air movements, and in this capacity is part of the olfactory identity of the Tyriades population. Still yet ill-defined, and serves as a surprisingly swift vehicle, allowing Tyriades to travel great distance without considerable effort. Some believe it is alive. Anyway, its power is not within everyone's grasp. To make use of it, one must engage is a kind of dialogue which unfolds as follows. The traveler provides his identifier. The abyss provides its identifier. The traveler provides his state. The abyss provides his state. The traveler gives his order. The abyss confirms the traveler's order. The abyss provides the actual parameters of the voyage. The traveler encodes the voyage parameters and enters them in a numeric format. The abyss confirms the location, departure. The traveler should carefully select his identifying pheromones, which will describe his state and represent his order. Further, he must correctly translate the parameters of the voyage with the lists I provided. The smallest of errors will result in serious consequences, including the complete paralysis of the abyss. Traveling through the abyss is to manipulate a fragile and precious instrument, which will suffer damages between unable hands. Okay. dissociative disorders with sensory impairments. I am writing this memo quickly after having looked through the medical file provided to me by Dr. Melick. I want to get a prescription of eyeglasses, but now he has attributed my visual impairment and my hearing loss to a psychogenic source. According to him, it is my extreme isolation and the deleterious influence of the Tyriade's atmosphere that explains my ill health. My mental health appears to him unstable. He indicates dissociative disorders with sensory impairments, with latent schizophrenic responses, and other such alarming symptoms. I don't know what to think of his conclusions. Of course, Melk is known to push the envelope, nothing like a dramatic diagnosis to keep his patients loyal. But is there any truth to what he has written? I admit that I had not lived well with solitude required by the exterior base and in proximity of the Tyriades. Gladly, the doctor is there to lend his support. Travel lists and explanations. Comment wind list. Cross wind velocity vertical axis with its apparent direction to obtain the corresponding Tyriades codes. Comment temperature list. Recuperate the change of temperature with their average horizontal to obtain the Tyriades codes. Okay. Pressure list, humidity list. I can come to this later then. And that's it for Paul Gurnish. So, okay, that's the chef. Jack Lowell. Okay, actually, it's audio log. Wait, scroll down. Sorry, I'm just looking for the names. Probably manual. Indeed, I suggest you read the periods. With at least some basic knowledge. Let's see where you might find the information you need. Probably Jack Lowell's file or Nancy Edwards. Okay. I think I already read Nancy's, but we'll have to check. Psychic disorders. All of my colleagues are aware. Being called to the advanced base is bad news. Despite the salary increase and the isolation premium, I think about that French speleologist who stayed in the cave 100 meters below the earth. We are in the same situation, cut off from the world, deprived of sunlight and its benefits, living reclusively in a cement cell with artificial light. Not surprising that the majority of my colleagues now suffer from psychological disorders, more or less serious, evolving from simple depression to acute schizophrenia. I am no exception. Several weeks after starting at my post, I incurred a depressive episode that was maintained and has now become my natural state. I am haunted by dark thoughts, and suicide is a bitter temptation on many days. I write this note as a cry for help and as a warning. Do not accept to be transferred to the advanced base. Your health depends on it. Who are you writing this to? Just your personal records? Report on the turnover of the last 10 receptors. Number 2, pretty young woman active in volunteering. She had made friends with all members of base personnel, which has since been greatly regretted. 3, an unpleasant and vain man who refused to follow orders and refused to use the language pack. Surely did not survive long in the Tyriade's world. 4, an unobtrusive young man, former student and militant royalist. He had interesting discussions before he went through the doors. We had interesting discussions. 5, interrupted training pursuant to an allergic reaction to OH, HO did not complete his mission. Number 6, suspended training pursuant to the receptor's request, a shame in light of her apparent abilities. 7, young woman with apparent abilities. She was equipped with an updated version of language pack. No news to this day. Is that the one that Mike sabotaged? 8, a frighteningly thin young female drug addict interrupted training pursuant to Professor Zeitfeld's request. 3rd, aborted mission this year. Our concerns were submitted to the program director. Number 9, very young female receptor who escaped during her transfer to the base. 10, died during inhalation training, a dark day. 11. Very young woman from a modest family with a background in science and interesting abilities. Reminded me of number 7. Good acquired tolerance to HO from inhalations. She went through the doors and returned 6 weeks later, mentally affected to a high degree. Suicide. Number 12. An important rumor preceded number 12. He was said to be very able, a perfect candidate from the start, but unappreciated by the team due to his surly personality and close bonds with Lea Nichols, the training coordinator. Not highly esteemed by Professor Zeitfeld, ultimately a quiet boy, a dreamer, who went through the doors as if he were running an errand. He appeared to evolve naturally within the environment and was able to easily breathe the deleterious air of the Tyriade's world, whereas most receptors coughed and spit up their inhalation. We thought he would return, but to this day, there were no news from number 12. It was difficult to gather the details of the historical crossing between the Tyriades and the Excelsidines. In fact, the few Eden researchers having worked on this are jealously quiet on the matter, and any related documents are difficult to access. I was able to nonetheless, by deduction and aggregation, to generate the following chronology. For thousands of years, the Tyriades and Oxaldines race, from the latter of which descended modern humans, lived on Earth in harmony, and one day the Oxaldines conquered all power and expelled the Tyriades into the subterranean world. This unknown race continued to evolve unbeknownst to humans, who on their side lost all memory of their ancient neighbors. Only the members of the reminiscent Anamnesis, a secret brotherhood, maintained the history of the Tyriades that they sought to exterminate. For reasons unknown to me, a crisis ensued among the Tyriades, as reflected in the confrontation between various castes. One of the receptors appears to have played a role in the resolution of this conflict, undoubtedly number 12. I know, alas, no more than this. Just checking my time. Okay. How many? Oh, we got a lot. Report on the turnover of 112 and his encounter with the Tyriades. When they met 112, 10 days had already passed since he had gone through the doors. He appeared to be in good physical condition as opposed to his predecessors. All the receptors I met previously suffered from migraines and respiratory problems from the start of their voyage, explaining why we are equipped with a small pharmacy. I therefore assumed that 112 had encountered communication Tyriades to whom we teach the basic of human language. The encounter took place without any difficulty. The Tyriades emitted an abundance of beta and delta pheromones, reflecting their high interest in this interlocutor. The latest news revealed that 112 would soon obtain audience with Queen Post-Ossican X7. This is a great honor, as no member of base personnel had ever met the heiress to the Tyriades throne. I wonder how 112 was granted such an honor. Alleged linkage between the Queen and 112. Eden-based authorities ill-received the news of Receptor 112's disappearance, officially recorded October 8, 1970. Harsh words were expressed by several laboratory supervisors, qualifying the repeated mission of test subjects into the Tyriades worlds as a scientific aberration. This response appears to me inappropriate. Admittedly, 112 no longer has any contact with scientific personnel, nor the Tyriades informants, to the point where they groan upon broadcasting the subject. But his unexpected audience before Queen, I'm not saying the entire thing, Queen X7, supreme leader of the Tyriades, may indicate that his disappearance was voluntary and not accidental. Personally, I think that 112 established some kind of pact with the Tyriades, or understanding, which the content remains to us unknown. It remains judicious to reestablish contact with 112 rather than to confirm without proof his disappearance. After all, he is our agent in the Tyriades world, and his closeness with these creatures remains useful to us. queen, it is difficult for the human mind to understand what a Tyriade's queen represents to her community. Not only is she the chief executive, presiding over the destiny of her people, she is also the incarnation of the spirit, and even the soul of the Tyriades. Born from a distinct cask, the procreation of renewal, she is by nature and by profession a superior being, guaranteed to become a major player in the history of the race. If all queens are this remarkable, one of them in the future, X7 is, according to the Tyriades, exceptional. Her characteristics, of course, cannot be translated into human concepts. However, she is characterized by what would be known as courage, will, patience, charisma, and above all, an exceptional intelligence that allows her to manage the most difficult situations. It is by far an important figure amongst the Tyriades elite. The legend of the charm and the sight convergence. Tyriades and their legends. Much like the Aborigines traveling into the dream world, they gave their stories the power to predict the future. Amongst the traditional tales confided in me, many have an initiatory purpose and are rarely shared beyond the caste to which they belong. Two have struck me as special: the legend of the charm and the legend of the site of convergence. The charm is a Tyriades-made object whose existence remains unverified. It is said to be made by a goldsmith, by the queen herself in fact. However, a human participated in this design. The charm's link to the Tyriades population is relatively obscure, composed of specific chemicals and vibrations like a tuning fork vibrating to the ambient air. The charm responds to the presence of Tyriades, but also to any creature, animal, or vegetal from the subterranean world. It is a HO sensor, also able to secrete it. Okay. The site of convergence legend is very different. I retell it here as I'm told by Milan, a communication Tyriade. Among us, it is written that the two ancient races, the Tyriades and the Oxaldines, shall give birth to a third race, which shall be the source of eternal stability. A convergence site will allow for their linkage. As humans are known to be descendants of the Oxaldines, this tale appears to say that Tyriades and humans are destined to fuse together to create a new entity. Unbelievable. A great story in any case.
The moment has come to forsake the last object linking me to the human realm. I don't need this camera. I leave behind friends and family, and may they forgive me. I feel like from now on, my life is here.
It's very nice to ever put this in here. They put nice dramatic music over that video recording. Okay. I already checked this mail, right? Sorry, as I think I read this one. I'm not sure if I've read this one, though. Hello, Nancy, how are you? I dropped by earlier, but you weren't around. Okay, yeah, I read this one. You should lock your office while you're away. Okay, so let's look at Nancy's files. If I can remember who... Oh. Okay. Okay, so we've read this. Okay, let's have a look around. I don't know where you're standing. You're standing right there.
This doesn't look like a camera add-on. What's it for? Let's load and see.
Okay. That was something. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that on just because it makes me feel better.
Now that's a useful program. It's a remote control for the language pack. I don't really remember how to use it. Oh yes, it's coming back to me. The pack lets you emit pheromones, enabling you to talk inside the Tyriade's world. With this device, you can have conversations with the creatures in this universe, but you can also send messages or warnings. As you may have read in the manual, the pack emits pheromones that elicit emotions. These can be used as signals between us. For example, I remember testing the epsilon pheromone in the lab. Depending on its concentration, it elicits restraint, even temperance. If you emit some when we're alone, I'll take that as you suggesting I be vigilant.
Okay. Okay, so either low dose is this. Okay, short range, medium range. What's this? Naval stationary pheromone. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta. We don't have omega yet. But I remember they were saying something about clams? We'll probably get that omega in-house, so to speak.
Another add-on? Let's check it out.
Oh, so what's the language pack? B. What's it gonna be this time?
It's an audio decryption device. It translates what the Tyriades are saying when you point it at them.
What?
But it must only be a rough translation. The language of these creatures remains quite a mystery for our researchers.
Okay. I don't even know why it turned on. That's nothing. Okay, just gotta check everything in this area before we head off. Or technically before I end the set, and then we'll head off. Okay, that's literally it. This is a Tyriade. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's a lot to this. Alright. Well, with that then, thank you for liking if you like. Thank you for commenting if you commented. Thank you for subscribing if you subscribed. Thank you for favoriting if you favorited. And thank you for simply clicking on this video. Until next time, guys. See ya!